The cameras flash on the red carpet.
Right.
The crowds are just roaring for Hollywood royalty. But behind those velvet ropes and the blinding lights, real life is happening in the shadows.
It always is.
It's quiet, it's complex, and right now it is heartbreaking because Jamie Lee Curtis just lost her sister.
Welcome to Starscope Report. Our mission in this deep dive is to, uncover the stories behind the headlines.
The real stories.
Exactly. Today we're exploring not just a celebrity mourning a sibling, but a fascinating untold story of a Hollywood dynasty. We're looking at sibling rivalry and the mechanics of finding peace far, far away from the spotlight.
And the context surrounding this loss just makes it even heavier. I mean, the Hollywood landscape in 2026 has already been pretty brutal.
Oh, definitely.
We started the year mourning Broadway performer Brett Hannah Shuford, then comedy icon Catherine O'Hara.
Which was huge.
Such a huge loss. Camilla Carr from Designing Women. It's just been this relentless wave of industry grief.
Yeah, it really has.
But for the Curtis family, this loss is deeply personal, and it's happening at an incredibly complicated time.
Because of the movie, right?
Right. Jamie Lee Curtis is currently ramping up for the highly anticipated global release of Freakier Friday.
So she's right in the middle of a massive press tour.
Exactly. She's being thrust into the brightest, most demanding promotional spotlight imaginable, all while privately absorbing the loss of her oldest sister.
The contrast there is staggering, honestly.
Totally staggering.
You have the unrelenting machinery of a Disney blockbuster on one side, and then the quiet finality of what happened in Idaho on the other.
Yeah.
The breaking news actually came through the Blaine County Coroner's Office. On Saturday, May 30, 2026, at 2:30 a.m., Kelly Lee Curtis passed away at the age of 69 in Bellevue, Idaho.
Just heartbreaking.
It is. She died of natural causes after spending her final week in hospice care. Her husband, John Marsh, was right by her side, and she is expected to be cremated.
I really want to look closely at the environment of those final days, because Jamie painted a very specific picture in her Instagram tribute over the weekend.
She did. It was a beautiful post.
It really was. She wrote, a warm aloha to my older sister, Kelly Lee Curtis. She passed away this morning. In her home, in nature, at peace.
Wow.
That phrase, in her home, in nature, at peace, it's the absolute antithesis of the chaotic manufactured world they were both born into.
Completely the opposite.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this for a second. It's like stepping off a speeding train into a quiet forest.
That's a great way to put it.
How does the eldest daughter of Hollywood megastars Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh find her final peace in a small Idaho town?
Well, to understand that, you really have to look at the specific setting. Because Kelly and John didn't just buy like a secluded luxury mountain retreat.
Okay, what did they buy?
They lived in an 1880 Victorian home right next to the old railroad tracks.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And historically, this building actually served as a temporary hospital during mining disasters.
Wait, so she was living in a 19th century trauma center.
Pretty much.
That is a remarkably specific choice for a house. It feels less like buying real estate and more like taking on a historical curation project.
Exactly. And that is the crucial distinction here. They spent years meticulously refurbishing it.
Wow.
And their goal wasn't to, flip it or increase its property value. They were actively working to donate the property to the Idaho State Historical Society for preservation.
That's incredible.
She traded the illusionary world of Hollywood for a home that had a literal pass-through window from the kitchen to the dining room where she would just cook for her neighbors. She wanted to protect real, tangible history.
But Kelly wasn't just hiding away in the mountains her whole life. She had her own unbelievable Hollywood story, starting with a screen debut at just 2 years old.
Which is wild to think about.
It is, and that's not even the wildest part. Later in this deep dive, wait until you hear about the surprising obsession she hid behind closed doors.
If you're captivated by these hidden Hollywood lives, make sure you're subscribed. We have even more surprising revelations coming up.
So let's look at Kelly's early life. Born into royalty in 1956, and by 1958, she's a 2-year-old, making her screen debut in the Vikings, alongside her parents and Kirk Douglas.
It's just a totally normal childhood, right?
Oh, totally normal.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she didn't just ride her parents' coattails into a standard acting career.
No, she took a major detour.
She goes to Skidmore College, graduates with a business degree, and then actually works as a stockbroker on Wall Street.
A stockbroker.
Yeah.
That is a massive pivot.
Right, and I have a theory about this.
Let's hear it.
It strikes me that pitching stocks on Wall Street when your parents are Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh is like the ultimate act of rebellion.
Oh, I completely agree.
Because if your entire family's legacy is based on subjective things like looks, charisma, box office draw, isn't moving into finance a way to seek objective mathematical value?
Absolutely. I think that's a highly accurate read of the psychology there.
Thank you.
When your identity is overshadowed by global icons, you naturally look for an arena where your success is entirely your own.
Right. The market doesn't care who your dad is.
Exactly. The numbers either go up or they go down. But, the gravitational pull of the creative arts is incredibly strong.
Especially when it's literally in your DNA.
Exactly. So she eventually pivots back, studying acting at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute.
And studying at Strasbourg back then was no joke. You don't just go there to coast on your last name. You go there to be dismantled and rebuilt as a serious artist.
Precisely. And she built a really robust resume. She was in Trading Places with Jamie in 1983.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and she took the lead role in the 1991 horror film The Devil's Daughter. Plus, she had solid TV stints on The Sentinel, Judging Amy, and even Star Trek, Deep Space Nine.
Wow, she really worked consistently.
She did. But even with all that success, the headlines always framed her in relation to her family. It was always Jamie Lee Curtis's sister or Janet Leigh's daughter.
Which makes her next career move so fascinating to me.
What does she do next?
Well, later on, she actually worked as an assistant on several of Jamie's films.
Oh, really?
Yeah, movies like Freaky Friday and Christmas with the Cranks. But her true passion, her real creative outlet, was Liberty Films.
Okay, what is Liberty Films?
It's a documentary production company she founded with her husband after moving to Idaho. And this is where she totally flipped the script.
How so?
They traveled to these dusty local rodeos, they filmed Idaho folk musicians, and they even documented Dick Fosbury's political campaign.
That is such a departure from Hollywood sets.
It really is. Why do you think someone with such deep, inherent Hollywood connections chose to spend her time filming local folk festivals in Idaho?
Well, if you look at it, it's brilliant. It's like she spent the first half of her life acting in plays someone else wrote, and the second half building her own theater.
Oh, I love that analogy.
She moved from being the subject of the camera, constantly observed and critiqued, to being the one holding the lens. She and John called them folklorist films.
Folklorist films, that's beautiful.
Archiving that authentic Americana allowed her to step out of the shadow of her parents and become an observer of real, grounded people.
It's the pursuit of absolute authenticity. And she didn't just document these people, she basically became one of them.
She really integrated into the community.
Fully integrated. The details that Jamie and her friends shared highlight a woman who was affectionately known around town as Auntie Cookie.
Auntie Cookie, that is adorable.
Right. And it comes from a specific tradition. She spent every Christmas baking hundreds of powdered almond crescent cookies for her friends and neighbors.
Wow.
She also collected turtles, played a mean game of hearts, and was a massive fan of thrifting.
And we can't forget the best detail.
Yes, my favorite detail. In a brilliant twist of relatability, this woman, Hollywood royalty, was fiercely dedicated to Pokémon Go.
That is just the best thing I've ever heard.
She was out there in Idaho, preserving an 1880s hospital by day and hunting down Charizard by night.
It's a wonderful detail because it speaks to this desire for pure, unpretentious play. Pokémon Go is a great equalizer, right? Totally.
It requires you to walk around your actual neighborhood, interact with your physical environment, and bump into strangers doing the exact same thing. It is the literal opposite of a velvet rope VIP experience.
It really paints a picture of a beautifully eclectic life. But later in the deep dive, we'll look at a specific unseen photo from 1984 that Jamie just released to the public and the shocking raw admission she made about their sibling rivalry.
It's a dynamic we rarely get an honest look at. We so often assume that celebrity siblings are somehow immune to the jealousies the rest of us face.
Like their wealth just insulates them from emotional damage.
Exactly. But that 1984 photo reveals the hidden architecture of their relationship.
Let's set the scene for this photo. It's December 17th, 1984.
Okay.
The night before Jamie's wedding to Christopher Guest.
A huge moment.
Massive. Kelly, who is the maid of honor, comes over for a sleepover. And their friend, Suzanne Tenner, snaps this black and white portrait of the sisters on a contact sheet.
And this was totally private until now.
Yes. Jamie just shared this contact sheet with the world. The visual is striking, but it's the caption Jamie wrote that really demands attention. It was a fiercely candid admission.
What did she say?
She wrote that while they were close as young children, they eventually dealt with intense sibling competition for their divorced parents' attention.
We really have to unpack the mechanics of that, because Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh didn't just get a quiet divorce in 1962.
Oh, it was a massive media event.
They were the golden couple of the era. When they divorced, Kelly was about 6 and Jamie was 3.
So young.
How does that specific environment, with all the magazine covers and PR spins, manufacture a rivalry between a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old?
You really have to look at the economy of attention. When your parents are global icons, their time and affection are already scarce resources.
Right, because they belong to the studios and the public.
Exactly. So when a highly publicized divorce fractures that household, those resources become even scarcer. The children aren't just sharing parents anymore, they're competing for fragmented moments of stability.
Wow, that is incredibly sad when you put it like that.
It is. Jamie admitted that because of this environment, they grew to be wildly different and actually lived apart for years.
It wasn't the fairy tale sisterhood the studios like to project.
Not at all. But the emotional resolution of that fracture is what makes this tribute so powerful.
Because Kelly came back for the wedding.
Yes, she showed up on December 17th, 1984, to be the maid of honor, and as Jamie put it, she never really left again.
She eventually became this integral part of Jamie's family structure. Jamie even referred to her as a sister aunt.
I am fascinated by that phrase, the sister aunt.
Me too.
It acknowledges that our family roles don't have to be rigid. You don't just have to be the older sister or the rival forever.
Yeah.
You can evolve into a hybrid role that perfectly fits what the family actually needs in the present.
And part of Kelly's evolution involved deeply connecting to her cultural roots.
Yes, her pursuit of her heritage is incredibly revealing. She had Danish ancestry on her mother's side and Hungarian Jewish ancestry on her father's side. And she didn't just acknowledge it casually. She and her father, Tony Curtis, raised money to physically restore the Dohányi Street Synagogue in Budapest.
Wait, they helped restore a synagogue in Hungary?
Yeah, through a foundation named after Tony's father. Think about the psychological weight of that.
It's massive.
Your early life is defined by a Hollywood superficiality and a public divorce. So you go back to the country your grandparents emigrated from, and you physically restore a piece of their history.
It's the ultimate act of reclaiming your narrative. And she brought that same dedication to her daily life in Idaho, didn't she?
She absolutely did. She was an active, devoted member of the Wood River Jewish community.
Oh, wow.
She studied Judaism, participated in High Holy Day services, and when she passed, the community immediately planned to say Kaddish for her.
Sure.
Her husband also confirmed she'll be buried with a yard site, the traditional ceremony observed a year from her death.
This wasn't just a casual affiliation at all.
No, it was a life deeply rooted in ancient tradition.
Which brings us to the cinematic climax of this story, and the specific way Jamie chose to sign off her public tribute.
How does she end it?
Well, Jamie explained that Kelly ended every single message, every text, every phone call with a Hungarian blessing, Isin veled.
Which translates to, God is with you, right?
Exactly. And so, for her final public words to her sister, Jamie mirrored that exact blessing. She wrote, Isin veled to my sister of the sun and the moon, my tie. I'll see you on down the line.
Oh, wow. That is breathtaking.
Stories like this really remind us of the real humans behind the Hollywood headlines. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the deeper truths we uncover next.
It's so true. We often look at celebrity families as these two-dimensional dynasties, but this deep dive proves that behind the fame, they navigate the exact same messy, beautiful sibling dynamics and reconciliations that we do.
They really do. And it leaves us with something pretty heavy to think about regarding our own lives. Think about Jamie's phrase, the sister aunt. How often do our own family roles shift and evolve over time, defying the strict labels we were born with?
More often than we realize, I think.
And when a first friend and lifelong confidant passes away, what happens to the shared childhood history that only the two of you remember?
You become the sole archivist of that history.
Exactly. It's a profound reminder to cherish the people who hold our earliest memories. Because eventually, the press tours end.
And we all just have to figure out how to find our own quiet forest to find our peace.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning into this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.